Alright, so here my goal was to use this hallway as well as the placement of the monsters to lead the player down this passage to the door at the end of this corridor. One issue with how I originally planned this game is that it's far too wide, so that corridor was a little bit too wide for my taste and didn't really have the feeling of leading the player. There was a lot of space to move around, and that's something that I'll be working on in the future. Also, this original area was meant to. There's a red key card at the end where the pink monsters were, and that is supposed to be telling the player, hey, there's this interesting thing that you might need to pay attention to. Um, so I think a smaller area might do that better. That ammo box led the player towards it, and that led them to discovering this teleportation, which I am using instead of stairs, as stairs were another thing that I could not figure out in the Doom editor. It seems that having multiple floors is not really what this editor was meant to do. And so I used this teleportation instead, and I knew find a way to have the stairs and have the illusion that that is what's going on, because currently the player kind of is a bit confused, I feel like, as to what those teleportation things are, and they're not really meant to be teleportation points, and that's why I don't want to have the teleportation markings and all that. Um, but anyway, so here there is a different kind of area. This is a very open area compared to those restricted hallways, and that makes the player have to have a different strategy. So they have to run around while they're shooting the monsters, otherwise they'll get eaten by all these monsters that are in large quantity and are very fast. Um, and then here there's pickups that the player will need hopefully after their encounter with all of those the large number of demons. And I originally wanted these monsters to, as well as these floors and the walls, to lead the player toward this switch right here. And I realized very quickly that the monsters don't wait around for you. They like to move around and they like to attack each other as well, which was quite challenging, and I need to figure out a way to perhaps um, limit the number of open areas for the monsters to move around so they stay in their spots. I also realized they can open doors, which has been quite troublesome. Here, this is a secret area, so the armor, the blue armor that was shining, is meant to lead the player. And here you can see there's a monster that escaped. But the blue armor is supposed to lead the area and the player to that secret spot so that they can find this shotgun, which helps the player in terms of strength. Um, Again, a teleportation to the next level, which hopefully I will fix in the next iteration. Um, and this is, especially this part, is a problem area because it's so huge and there's so many monsters. It feels quite like a mess right now. And one thing I did was that beginning area, which I believe I will be going back to in a moment. It helps the player have a different strategy. So there's here they can run around and shoot the monsters and all that, but especially in this case of this red monster, which I find very hard to defeat. It's nice to lure them into an area that's more secluded. So here I'm kind of waiting to see if there's a monster, and here one shows up where they just use the teleportation. I had never seen it before until I recorded this right now. So again, something I will need to fix. But here, see, I can lure these demons one at a time to deal with them, and that's another strategy the player can use. So this area is one that I kind of want to keep that because it gives the player sense of just accomplishment when they figure that out, when they use different strategies. And here you had to run across to get into this room, which the player might not initially realize, but after they accomplish this puzzle, they find out that they can speedrun, and that might help them with the pink monsters that are very fast. Um, so again, this area is very wide, and it seems like it's constantly um, monster after monster. There's not really much that you can do about it. There's not much time for relaxation and cooling down. So that's something I will definitely want to implement in the further iterations. I also found that the player was not as easily led as I imagined, so hopefully I'll make more walls or use different types of pickups to help the player um, guide them through the level, especially in rooms that are so large as this one. oops, a bit of lag right there. And here you can see this open space, so things like this that you notice it wasn't open before, and that leads you to go check it out. And in this case, you got a health bonus. So you run around again, and you use that yellow key that you had seen this yellow door first, and now you immediately know what is going towards and that you need it. And so you go up the stairs, and here again, teleportation. And in this case, it's a different type of interaction with those pink demons. You can't run around, you have to face them head on. And again, I use this kind of mechanic where it's you immediately get the blue key and immediately know where it's supposed to be leading. And that's supposed to help the player not get confused or not have to run around pointlessly going, hey, where is this key going to? And then going down the corridor. So this is another one that I hope to put more monsters or more something interesting. So it's not just running down this corridor. And here, these monsters aren't supposed to be here. They escaped from this door, which you will see on the left right there. And that's something else I want to fix. Not to have these monsters run around. So right there, I didn't even open the door. It was that imp, that brown monster that had done that. And finally, you get the key card if you see across the right there. This is where you originally ended up. And here you might not know where to go. There are some pickups, and that's supposed to lead you to right there at the left. I was looking at a secret door, which that's supposed to just give you another teleportation to closer where you're supposed to go. And so it's not much of an advantage, but it is slight benefit. There's another room to the left right there that I looked at. That's going to be another secret room, but currently the door is not working, and I don't know why the texture is not there. But anyways, you go down, and here you can pick up bonus items which you might not have gotten the first round because you might not have needed it. And that's another thing I want to refine is the number of bonus items that you need and you don't need, because currently you have way too much ammunition for this level. And here again, a different set of monsters for your second time around, so you're not just going through this completely empty hallway. And so overall, my issue was I had too many big spaces and too many small spaces. I want to even it out as well as make it have the different levels like I mentioned earlier, the ups and downs and the relaxation and the searching as well. But overall, this level took me about 7.5 minutes without killing all of the monsters. But if you try to speedrun it, then it gives you about maybe 6 minutes. It doesn't shave off too much. Thank you very much.